Mic check, mic check. Okay, we should be good. We should be good. Hey, let's go. Yo, what's good, guys? What's good? For those of you that are coming in here, guys, give me a sound check real quick if you could. Let me know. I tweaked the volume a little bit, and I think the microphone was a little bit too loud the last couple years, so I did turn it down a little bit. So instead of creeping into the yellow, it stays green. So it really shouldn't have any sort of popping or anything. I mean, hell, I have a pop filter on here, but I think the settings was kind of making it different. I don't know. And I pulled the mic a little bit closer as well. Naruto says sounds good. Appreciate that. Omar, what's good? Loud and clear. Very awesome. But Todd, I think that's how you say that. Appreciate the sound check. Thank you guys for that. Thank you, thank you. So what's on the table for today? Dude, honestly, I don't know. You see, the thing is, there was some good action here in the morning to a certain extent. And the Dow, I actually wanted to see us trade lower. So I've actually got the pre-plan here. Okay, so this is screenshotted at 9:20, so a little bit after 9 o'clock central. And I mean, it's very simple, very easy. You can see what I've outlined, right? We come up into the imbalance, and then we wanted to see us trade below 33,500. Okay, so simple as that. What's good, Willow? And that's what I wanted. Now, but rule of thumb is Dow rallies here, right, where the Nasdaq actually went lower. So to me, it's not bad, but I didn't go in with like full risk or anything. But if we had, I guess, put that curve back on here, because I think I put the curve like right there. So we did come up into that imbalance beautifully. We reacted, retracement, and then we reacted, and then we came all the way back into it. Then we traded back down, made a lower low, but then we came all the way back up here again, and then now we're here. So to me, I don't think that idea is gonna hold anymore. If it does, it's, again, I think it's unlikely, but if it does, I think it'll do that in the last hour. I don't think it'll do that this hour. So there's that. Okay. And then you'll notice that the Nasdaq is actually down 1.2% on TradingView's calculation, whereas the Dow Jones is up partially 0.2%. So there's a little bit of a disparity there. If you go to the Nasdaq on a daily time frame, right, we have actually traded down and into a daily imbalance here from the March 30th candle. Okay, so that March 30th candle is here. We've traded into that. So what I'm looking for now is if we reverse here in the afternoon for the upside, then obviously that would discredit the Dow going lower. Plus, again, it's our strongest index, so we may not want that. So if we have made a low and then a high and then a lower low, again, that rebalanced on that daily time frame, then this afternoon, if it's a reversal, we may pop mitigation and then, you know, zoom higher. So if this ends up being a reversal to go higher, if Dow is our strongest index, then that's probably not something that we want to be shorting. You know what I mean? And it's back into that imbalance again. So like for me, I'm not rocking with it. Like I wouldn't short this right now. I wouldn't short that. So I still think it wasn't a bad idea. There was definitely, like if you had got in up here, there was definitely opportunity to take partials either at a new low, I think here, or at a new low here, and then likely a break even on the rest. So it'd be like that sometimes. You can write that one down. It'd be like that sometimes. Okay. So there's that. What's good, Ali? What's good, Nicholas from Germany? Bunch of snipers in the chat today. You love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it. So soon we're gonna have membership only chats. Okay, so at a given probably a couple more weeks or so, we will likely do chat, like member only chat. So I think everybody will still be able to watch the stream, but you won't be able to be in the chat unless you end up being a member. So I'm giving you a few weeks notice. Okay. What's good, Nick? What's good, Hassan? What's good, Ibranith from Las Vegas? I think Hassan, I think you got your journal in today, that leather journal. You got to let me know what it looks like. I want to see it. Maybe we can share it with the stream too, if you don't mind, so we can let them know what it looks like, because that probably won't be our only giveaway for that, like that journal. Like I probably will give that journal out on a lot more giveaways, but we got to hit some milestones. So that was a 5,000 subscriber milestone. But now, granted, I've had my YouTube for a long time. I've had this YouTube channel since 2015, so it built up prior to this year. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what the next milestone is going to be. And YouTube doesn't allow creators to do giveaways for memberships. So like that's not one of the things we're allowed to do. So I can't say if we get more members, we'll do more giveaways. I can't do that, right? That's against like the policy or whatever. So it'll just have to be, I guess, based on subscribers. So when we hit a new milestone for subscribers, then we'll do some more giveaways. Okay. All right. So the S&P, it looks like it wants to give us a little reversal. I think 41.36.37. I mean, that might be on the table for today. Again, there's only 2 hours left in today, so that might be a bit of a stretch. But as Mark Douglas would say, anything can happen. So there's your 2 to 3, and then here is your afternoon session. So again, I mean, it looks like it's given us a bit of a reversal. We took out the 1030 high pretty distinctively. All right, I'll do the body then, I guess. So that could be a potential break of structure. And I don't think the S&P traded into anything. Let me see. Kinda. I mean, March 31st, that candle was an imbalance, fairly large imbalance too. So we hit that 4100 level as well. That could be significant for this afternoon. So yeah, again, I wanted to be bearish on the Dow. If that is no longer on the table, that's fine. But if we're going to switch our bias to go long, I think the setup would have to be pretty crispy. It's going to have to be pretty crispy. What do you guys think? You think we're going to get a crispy setup to go long? So the NASDAQ has traded back into that, but I don't know. NASDAQ's our weakest index, so if we're gonna longing the weakest index may not be what you want to do. So I think if we were to long, it'd probably be the S&P. You have those two candles right there. I don't know. I don't think I'm feeling it, to be honest. There's an imbalance inside of mitigation there, but I don't know. Something doesn't seem right, and I can't figure out what it is. Can't figure out what it is. What's good, Smith? Cataria, what's going on? Mr. John, what are you talking about? You talking about the journal? You talking about the leather journal? I don't know if the one that you got, Hassan, is this one, because I've bought in like 3 different brands, so the one you got, I'm not sure. But if you've got it open and if you want to share it, you can send it to me on Instagram. I'll take a gander. We'll take a look at it. Oh, the membership. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, man. Get a tier 1 or tier 2 membership. I think the store is broken too. I don't know what's up with that. They're like, oh, due to restrictions. What restrictions? You had it up before. YouTube, man. YouTube and their shenanigans. Bunch of nonsense, if you ask me. Bunch of nonsense, if you ask me. Also, with the NASDAQ, we don't really have a high probability target. That's not like absurdly far away. You know what I mean? The NASDAQ's been dirt. And the daily imbalance, I mean, we've seen a reaction, but I mean, dude, look at this. This looks weak sauce. It looks weak sauce. So I don't know if I'm digging that. You know what it is? It's because we don't have like a divergence here. I mean, we do, but it's with the Dow. So the Dow has traded higher into 1145, whereas 1130, 1145 for the S&P is lower. And the Dow still has the low from yesterday morning, London, and I guess the like just before the afternoon session started. So that, to me, we may not have a low set. And again, this could pan out pretty well, but I don't know. Sometimes I just don't like, I don't know, sometimes I just can't like explain what it is that I don't like, I feel that is wrong about it, but something just doesn't seem right. We have some high probability targets for the S&P, but again, I'm not feeling it. Something doesn't feel right. And if we're going to put risk on the table, it needs to make logical sense. It needs to be right like this. Like when we were looking for this up here, these lows made logical sense at the time. And we got a beautiful reaction. But now we've done all this nonsense all day that, you know, it negates the idea, right? But at the time it looked good. But given, you know, some trade management and having a time stop, it's not good. So I would not put a full risk on this. What do you guys think? Or do you guys, or y'all just want to be trigger happy and just want to take something? What is the SU 100? What is that? Or are you talking about the NASDAQ? And if anything, the S&P, that, so if you compare the Dow, right, like this imbalance here at 920 on the Dow was also seen on the S&P. Really, really beautiful price action, and it got a much better response because it traded lower all the way until the afternoon session. So I mean, there was at least 22 points offered on the S&P. So looking back on it, I shorted the wrong one. I mean, I knew that going into it. It's why I decreased my risk when I went into this, because the Dow went, or excuse me, the NASDAQ went lower, Dow went higher. And so I zoomed out. You obviously see I've got a 1 hour imbalance on here. So it reacted from that. And then that imbalance within that 1 hour imbalance is just beautiful. So I reduced risk and I shorted this one and it was okay. But, you know, I got to journal and be like, why didn't I take this one? And to be fair, I think it's because we had these highs here that I figured they might get ran. And we had some highs up here too. Right? So these highs at 41.36, we didn't get that run on the S&P. But those highs from, I guess, the evening time yesterday, that was ran on the Dow. So I must have trusted the liquidity run more so than the asset that didn't run liquidity. So even though the S&P was weaker, and in hindsight that was the better trade, I think that's why I justified going short on the Dow versus the S&P. So again, it's a mistake. You know, that's part of the game. And I let you guys know so you can learn from it too. But that's why I think I did. Because remember, I explained recently that I don't like to short with equal highs and I don't like to long with equal lows. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of why. I think that's why I did that. But I didn't put, you know, again, max risk on that. Which is fine. That's cool. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, to be honest, I really don't even want to paper this either. I guess we could. So if it was me, if we were to paper this, it would probably be this imbalance and likely a stop below this low. Now, the only thing I don't like about that Let me check ES real quick. Okay, ES doesn't really have it, but the micros, if you look closely, there's this gap right here, and that wasn't really traded into there. So I'd rather not have my stop there, because that might be one of those instances where it stops you out and then reverses on you, and that's honestly, that's just shitty. You know, so I guess if I had to, it would be that, and likely a run above this high, which that will round us up to a 1 to 3 and 1 to 3.4 risk reward. If we think the low of the day has been set, I don't think it would be wrong to have a low down in here, but that definitely is a wider stop, and that waters down the risk reward really bad. So, and then that would break the 1 to 3 minimum risk reward, unless you happen to frame a 1 to 3. But then now again, as mentioned, like I've been teaching you guys recently, is the time stop. So think about it. There's an hour and 40 minutes for today. There's 1 hour and 40 minutes left of today. And I'm not saying that there won't be a beautiful move, but you're demanding a 26 or even a 37 point move in the last hour and 40 minutes. It's asking for a lot. So then that's kind of what my thought process goes to. Do we water down the risk reward and expect a fucking, you know, Elon Musk rocket ship up here? Or do we take the imbalance within the mitigation with a tight stop under this low, even though there's a gap right there? So you kind of see why that's somewhat problematic. If this low had traded into that gap, that would have been better for me. I would have liked that. But if this is a break of structure, this has already been rebalanced, then if it is bullish, then price should see really no reason to not go up there. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just leave the risk reward here? I won't take it on a paper. We'll just leave the risk reward here. And 41.30. All right, so we'll leave it just like this. And for those of you that want to study, let's screenshot it right here. Boom. Okay, because it's entering that imbalance right there. Or, I mean, well, it kind of did. I mean, now we have like triple lows. So we have 1, 2, 3 lows right there. So 41125 as a hypothetical entry, even though I'd want to see it trade below those lows. We'll just leave it here for, again, sake of studying purposes. But there's our 1 to 3.4. And again, I would screenshot this here, but I would make sure to have a screenshot of these highs as well as 41.36. Okay. So for those of you that are watching and listening, all right, I'm not saying to take a live trade. We don't. Okay. I'm never going to say to take a live trade like that. We're going to watch this market. We're going to study it. And all I'm doing is putting a risk reward here. Okay. And I'm telling you going into this, I don't like the fact that we have that gap right here. I don't like that. The only thing that would make sense to me at the most is that those two down candles right there may price may trade into that and then go higher, right? Because down candles in a bull market should hold, so it shouldn't trade down to that low. that's like the justification for that. Okay. But again, that gap right there is the reason that I don't care for that. And that's why I referenced the ES to see what's going on over there, but it doesn't really look like much. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now I'm going to leave here at 2 o'clock in about another 35 minutes or so. Okay, Monday's streams are longer. Friday's streams are usually longer as well. But I want to, as far as the dollar, let me look at the dollar index. That's another thing too. The dollar has rallied, and 2 of the indices got sent lower, but the Nasdaq or the Dow Jones didn't. So the intermarket to me is, I don't know. I don't get that. The dollar, we had news this morning at 9 o'clock Central, so that's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern. And that, let me see, that sent the dollar lower to sweep lows, and then we've rallied off of that since then. So the dollar has been rallying all day since 9 o'clock. If the dollar has topped here, and if it's going to retrace lower, that also may send the indices higher. Oh, see? Digging more into that imbalance, like that's what I would have wanted to long. Right there. I don't even think we got 10 and a half. 1075. But either way. Okay. So yeah, again, I'm not entirely sure. I was super confident in shorts on Dow earlier. That same confidence I do not have for this afternoon. Okay. What exactly is the mistake? Because you shorted the strongest asset, which took liquidity instead of the weaker asset, with upside liquidity still open. Just trying to confirm from my notes. Yeah, well, I look at that as a mistake. I mean, what I'm saying is that in hindsight, it's a mistake. Because look at this. Look at this movement here. If I had shorted the 20 level, okay, with a stop at this high, the market for the S&P at the lowest low offered like a 1 to 2.6. Okay. So there was at least a 2.6 opportunity there, or you could just say 20 points, you know, something to that effect. Okay. Whereas the Dow, okay, 60 level, the run this wick was pretty high, so like the stop is up there, and then looking for a 1 to 3 is about right here, which is below those lows, and then actually aiming a little bit lower for Sunday's lows. Okay, so that was like, okay, there's your 1 to 3 justification, and it came down to like a 1.7. You know what I mean? It didn't have the same explosiveness lower. And like, can you see the price action difference? Like, drop lower, rally, drop lower. Dow, it dropped lower, came all the way back near the entry, dropped lower, but barely making a new low. So in my eyes, I'm going, damn, I missed it, right? But I'm telling you my thought process. I didn't know if the market wanted to come up for these highs or not. And I just don't like pulling the trigger on shorts with potential liquidity here and potential liquidity there. Because look at 41.36 for a minute. Look at that. Those are pretty identical. See what I mean? So that's why I was a little bit reluctant for that, like doing that. Okay. So 2 points at the most. It's rallied a little bit off this 5-minute time frame. We're going to give this some time. We don't want to choke the trade, right? So I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, if this was it, you know, I'd go break even. Like, no, relax, right? Relax. We got to give this a few more candles to print. And I think the final hour is going to have the final say so in what this actually wants to do. So right now it's just reacting a little bit, but nothing too significant yet. If we do start trading higher, I would want to see us trade above this high. If we do that, I think it would be all right to practice and say, well, if our stop is here, then if we break this high, then I would bump it to break even, and then, you know, see what the close is going to do. Okay. But hopefully that answers your question. We got to get more people on here, man. We got to get more people. If you have found value so far in today's presentation, oh, I didn't drop the like. There it is. Drop a like for me. That would help us out to get us in front of other people, to get us potentially on the YouTube algorithm, to help us out and all that. It's totally free for you to do. All you gotta do is click the button. Okay, that's it. That's all I ask. It ain't much. It ain't much. Uh-oh. All right, anyway, the gap looks like it lines with the 618 as well as short-term lows. I think it's a good chance people's stops are there, so it would make sense for price to go there. Yeah. Yep, makes sense. And you're welcome, Naruto. You're welcome. Delano, why are you sad? Why are you sad, Delano? What's going on over there? What's happening? Oh, you thought the stream died, but it was your PC. No, I saw something too. I saw something too. It gave me a little loading screen or something for 2 seconds here. I don't know what was up with that. I don't know, man. My computer just has been doing a lot of weird shit lately. I don't get that. I don't understand that. Don't know. I mean, the NASDAQ has reacted a little bit, but nothing like too significant yet. Nothing too significant yet. I've been watching Dow all day and it's been disappointing, so I'm gonna spend a lot more time with the S&P. A lot more time with the S&P. So roughly 5 points, maybe four and some change. So we're getting a few ticks, but again, I still think going break even right now would be fairly aggressive. Fairly aggressive. What we're gonna do is watch to see how this high gets taken. If it does, if we get a nice, I don't want to say boner candle, because you know that's Patrick Whelan and that shit is hilarious. But if we get, because I know there's women on the stream too, you know, like I got you. Okay, if we get like a nice candle through that high, nice close above that high, then that to me would signify a possible break even. You know what I mean? But we would need to see expansion. Nice expansion. Not like a poke above that and then like a roll over lower. Like that's, in a bull market, that's not what I would want to see. Know what I mean? So it's kind of creeping up there. 17 and a quarter, 17.75. So now it's punching above that high. $41.18. So it looks like it's almost at a 1-to-1. I can't do math. I can't eyeball that. I'm trying to. A one. Shit. Yeah. A 1-to-1's about right there. So if you're a 1-to-1 trader, well, do what you got to do. But 1-to-1 offered again. I want to see how we react from that high. I want to see what we do on that kind of close. 15-minute, maybe 5-minute as well. And yeah. Again, we'll get us a little bit more time. What do you think is the best thing to do in losing periods? My trade plan gave me 50% return in February and I passed my phase 1, and in phase 2 I only got losses and did not change anything, but it takes a lot of energy to stay positive. Well, dude, last month was fucking difficult. It was. I took a shit ton of break-evens last month. More break-evens than I wanted to. You know? It was chopped, man. There was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of just ebb and flow that you don't want to see. You don't want to see ebb and flow. You want to see expansion, right? And last month was hard, man. It was. But yesterday was fucking phenomenal. Today was okay. I think S&P offered great shorts this morning. I think some of the team was looking at shorting NASDAQ. That definitely dumped. And right now, price looks fairly clean for the afternoon. That 5-minute didn't really close all that strongly, but again, we'll give it some more candles. If we had a sizable position, that 41.18 level would be a partial. For me personally, that would be a partial, right? Market making a new high, that would, you know, I mean, it's only going to be locking in about 6 points or so, maybe 7 on something like that, on a partial position, and that's all right. That is okay. Blurry says, I'm already done. Thanks a lot. Your life helping us a lot. Watching John read price action. Hey, man. I'm just reading it. I'm just reading it. That's it. But, I mean, we barely traded above that high, and it has given back quite a bit. It looks like it's trading into that gap right there, too. Even though there's gaps all over the place. There's a little small gap right there. And I'll make it darker so you can see it. That little gap right there. So, if we're in at 41... It wouldn't be 41.11 and a quarter because that's the lows. It would have been below that, like maybe 41.11. Okay, at 41.18 or even 17, like one tick above that, that would have been a partial, and then maybe a break even if you're super aggressive. If you're super aggressive. Now, what I told you guys is that I wouldn't want to see us barely trade above that and then fall back to our entry, right? And that's, it looks like that's what the exact thing we're getting. It looks like that. That's not what I would want. So let's see what we do around that gap right there that I pointed out. Let's see what we do. Excuse me. Let's see what we do there. Another 2.5 minutes or so. See where that candle closes. Takes a gander. And real quick, while we do that, while we watch it, did you guys check your emails today? I sent out an email. Choose not to be harmed. And we referenced some Marcus Aurelius and all that. And that should have hit your inbox today. That should have hit your inbox today. So make sure you read it. Because I see I see how many I send it to, and then I see how many people open it. And it's sad how many people actually open it versus the number, like percentage wise, it's pretty sad. I would expect more people to read them, you know? But then part of me also says, well, John, you know, it's free value. People aren't going to value shit that's free. So there is that. What's good, Thorsten? We miss Dennis. Do you miss Dennis? I heard y'all been doing some good things lately. He told me you guys been killing it recently. Focused on 1 pip stop loss trades instead of psychology. Jesus, 1 pip stop? How does that work when the spread is 2 or 3 pips? How does that work? Because look, I'm no math genius. I'm no genius by any means, but 1 point stop with a 3 point spread, or 1 pip stop with a 2-3 pip spread, something ain't adding up. Okay, something ain't adding up there. Oh. Well, there's nothing wrong with super tight stops, in my opinion. It's just, I think if you're going to do that, expect to get stopped out more than you want. If you've noticed the last couple of streams or so, we have done 1 minute time frames, but today has been strictly 5 minute. It's been strictly 5 minute. I haven't really, we briefly went down to the 1 minute so I could show you those equal lows. But ultimately, we've been on a 5 minute this whole time. 5 minute imbalance, 5 minute Dow imbalance, 5 minute mitigations, right? I didn't go down into those 1 minute time frames. But look at that. That still would have given you a pretty solid entry, even on a 5 minute time frame. So, man, let's see. I like that we respected the gap, but I don't like how we left this lack of wick on there. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but if we're gonna get expansion, then we should get expansion. And I wouldn't want price to just dilly-dally. I wouldn't want that. The fucking Dow has done that all day. And that's gross. We did get our expansion lower, but then we got contraction right back up. Like, that's not what you want. But if we want expansion, then we need that. When SpongeBob was in Sandy's dome with Patrick and they didn't have water, and remember how they were like, water, I need it, right? Well, shit, dude, we need expansion. We need expansion. And if we don't get that, that's not good. Can you guys still hear me? There's always like, it always does this like pause, and I can tell that shit freezes. Oh, it lagged? Okay, yeah, that was definitely me then. That was definitely my computer. I don't know why it does that. I got new RAM. I've restarted it. I don't know how to fix it. I've had this problem ever since I got this microphone. And it's not the microphone. It's the computer that like either refreshes or resets the sound settings. And I don't know why it does that. I set the speakers as like the default output, the microphone is a default input and everything, and it still freezes and stuff. And I looked it up and it's like, okay, well, maybe it's a RAM problem. So I bought more RAM, fixed that, still having issues. The video card, oh shit, I don't even know how to do that. I'll have to look at the video card, I guess. I'll have to YouTube that one. But we're just really not getting all that much expansion here on the 5-minute time frame. And that 15-minute close did not really close all that great either. This candle, that last 15-minute candle, that didn't look all that bullish. Looks like weak sauce. And we're coming up on the last hour here in 10 minutes. So the longer we do nothing, the less likely we are to trade up there, in my opinion. Otherwise, I'd want to see expansion, a little bit of contraction, then nice expansion heading into the close. Like, that's the ideal scenario on that. So we've given it, you know, from our hypothetical entry, we've given it 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 candles or so to do something, and it has done something, but nothing crazy. Like, let's come back to this. Look at this morning. Okay, take what I just told you. Take what I just told you by, if you're short, you want to see bearish expansion, right? Well, look at this. One candle in, next candle takes a dump. One candle, it comes up and then comes back down. Next candle doesn't really do anything, and then what do you see? You see expansion lower, right? That's what you want to see. That's good. If you're in a short, that's good, right? Large down candles in a bearish market, beautiful, right? So the inverse of that would be, like, see these up candles here, like these strong up candles, small down candles, strong up candles, small down candles. We should start seeing large up candles expand to the upside, make some new highs, right? And it just has been looking a little reluctant to do that. Like Thomas the train engine, or the little engine that could, right? Get your ass over that hill. Do it. You know? Like, what are you taking all day for? Come on. But that's just me. You know, sometimes I demand a lot. Sometimes I demand perfection, and that does screw things up sometimes. But fuck, you start taking entries like this, and you know, you get addicted to that. You're going, oh my god, I need every trade to do this. I need every trade to sprint to my TP. I need every entry to be a wick entry. I never want to be wrong. Like, shit, you take really good trades and it can potentially start to mess with you, man. I'm telling you. Or maybe that's just me. Update your video card. All the drivers are up to date. But my computer's a little bit old. It's like I think I bought it at the tail end of 2018. So 19, 20, 21, and 22. Yeah, so it's about 4 years old, a little bit older than 4. Rafael, what would you recommend me to look at first if I want to start with your strategy? I watched you for a while, but never really learned. I want to go more into the market structure and understand more. So, Raphael, when you say you've watched me before, does that mean the live sessions or the YouTube recordings? Or, like, where have you seen my work? And it's this type of, like, I don't have a strategy. Like, my strategy is not something that I created, okay? What I look for is how the market operates. Okay, so price delivery, is it efficient or inefficient? You know, liquidity being attacked, like that's what I look for. So I didn't create how the markets work. Okay, and so there's people out there, you know, they can coin concepts or whatever and say that, you know, well, this is mine or whatever. And, you know, it's just the fucking market though, you know? Like certain shit I call a mitigation. Other people have different names for that. Okay, imbalances didn't used to be called imbalances. Back in the day, like the fucking 90s, it was called a price vacuum. You know, but things change over time. Okay, so it's not my strategy. It's just I try to align myself either with smart money or with the algorithm that delivers price. That's it. You know what I mean? So the only thing I've ever created was the John Phibbs London and the New York Open. And even I didn't create that. I had someone else code that. Someone else coded my own indicator that plots opening price. Okay. So, you know, sometimes people go, oh, you know, John tries to take credit for this and credit for that. I don't take credit for anything. I take credit for, hey, if I call a fucking trade, I call a fucking trade. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. There's a lot of tomfoolery out there. So anyway, that probably did not answer your question at all. Let me see. Bought a computer in 2018 and it turns out it was manufactured in 2012 and I didn't know. Oh, Jesus. You got sold a 6-year-old computer. That's bonkers. Anyway, yeah, guys, look, Price has spent a lot of time doing nothing. We really haven't got all that much expansion. So I would tell you this. If this was me, if this was my stop, I wouldn't keep this open. Based on a time element, I would go, if the entry was 11, I'd go probably 1150. 2 ticks. I'd go 2 ticks. So obviously I can't draw the risk reward. I can't put the stop above the entry. But if it was me, I would go break even because this isn't doing entirely what we wanted it to do. It's done 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. Now a 5th candle of nothing. A little bit of expansion, but then back down. You know what I mean? So the last hour may provide something, but I wouldn't want to see it come back into that imbalance if it was me. That's just me. Some people, they don't mind it. They're like, oh, fuck it. Okay, I'm not fuck it. Okay, I'm fuck that. Okay, so I wouldn't want that if I was in this as a live trade. I would take what I got from the Dow this morning. If this was a real trade and we partialed there, I would take that and then accept that we're at a break even, and then whatever happens happens. So we're either going to break even or the market's going to go our way. So it's a situation where it shouldn't matter. Those are the best ones to be in. After taking partials and going break even, that's the best thing ever for me personally. Best thing ever. You know? And so that's what I would want to do now going into it, because we're heading into the last hour in under 3 minutes, and price has not seen expansion in a very way that I would like. We could still get it, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't done a lot. And if we're wrong and it comes back down, why have open risk? Just admit you're wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things in my life, dude. And some things you can admit, yeah, I was wrong, and other things you don't want to admit that you're wrong because of pride. But in trading, you do not want pride to get in the way. You do not want that. Leave your pride at the door. But let me get back to what you were saying, Raphael, because I still haven't answered your question. I know. Do you have a list to watch in the IM recordings? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Allie, have a good one. I'll see you later. Yeah, there's the favorite sessions. There's like 155, or now there's 156 recordings. But I'm not going to redo all of that on YouTube. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. So, all right, guys, this is where we're at. So what we'll do is we'll take a screenshot here because we're heading into the last hour. So I want you to see what it looks like when your trade doesn't really do shit. And I'm going to hop off of here. So you guys manage it how you want to. Again, hypothetical. All we did was draw risk reward. Okay. Manage it how you want to, or, you know, think about what would you do in this situation if this was your trade. Would you hold it? Would you close it? Would you, like, I don't know what you would do, but something to think about and practice. Okay. Appreciate you too, Willow. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. I will see you guys on Friday, right? We don't have a schedule here on YouTube on Thursday, but we do have a schedule here for Friday on the 7th. Okay, so again, we're at the last hour of trading. Y'all be blessed. Have an amazing day. Thank you, Nicholas, for being here. Y'all be good, and I'll see you on Friday.